Hi everyone, my name is Lorna Wynn, and um, I would like to do a video on autism and my social skills. I am diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and I would like to describe my social challenges and a few skills that I actually have, which are probably a lot of people with autism will have a few little skills here and there, even socially. That's my opinion, but a lot of times we do have challenges. The one social skill we have is that we're honest. We don't lie to people, and we're actually, in a lot of ways, it can be very polite. So polite that people will probably look at it as weird or something, but I don't think it's weird. But I've seen a few very polite and loyal people with autism, and they're just so very loyal and friendly. But there's a certain lot of challenges, other challenges that we will have, and um, my my video tonight is going to be on my challenges socially as well. I mean, it just on this video. I would like to describe autism in a way that's personal to me, not necessarily the diagnostic criteria, because I just think that if you see one person with autism, you've seen one person with autism. And I would like to start with my younger years, my middle school years, and my high school years. Well, let's say my younger years, my teenage years, and adult years. That's probably better. But my younger years, I definitely had some issues. I did not know how to. I had a couple friends in first grade, and um, one girl was she was like the boss of me, like the boss of the, she was a boss friend, and I was the one that just kind of followed along. Because I didn't know how to verbally express what I didn't want to do or disliked or whatever. So we would just hold hands, and she would be the lug around. Like I was the like the rag doll, and she was grabbed my hand, and we would just do things, and I would just do what she wanted to do. But we were friends, and she was a year older than me. This was when I was in first grade, and I also had two boys in my class. In this class I was in the first grade, which was a special ed classroom, but two boys that were older than me, and they were in the special ed classroom for whatever reason, and they I don't know what it was, their disability was, but that's different, a whole different subject. But they were older than me, and they just loved me, and apparently they thought I was cute or something. This cute little first grader. And they let me kiss their cheek, They were. I was friends with them, right on their back, But in the second grade, it became a lot harder. I went to Catholic school, and the kids in that class, it's they they were older than me socially, and like all those years, like the second grade, uh, for third grade and fourth grade, I was in Catholic school, and the teachers were okay, with me, but except one teacher, she was all right. Um, her name was Mrs. Langdon. She was all right, and the second grade teacher, I don't know, no. she just she was kind of like she didn't understand me and this other kid in my class. He would get in trouble a lot, and I would too. I mean, I would. I definitely had social issues, and I was the oldest kid in my class because I started kindergarten later, and my parents thought I wasn't ready. I mean, they didn't want me and my sister in the same grade as well. That was their reasoning. And so I was the oldest kid in my class. I was 8, 9 years old in second grade, and all the other kids were like 7, 8 years old. So I felt a little awkward. But anyway, um, I did have a little friend at the beginning of the second grade. His name was Joshua Awkward, and we sat by together in class. So it's like when I first would go, like when I first went to St. John's, I would start in the second grade. You know, I started having friends, and then they didn't know me, and this girl named Suzanne, we would sit by each other, and I think they didn't know my social awkwardness at the time because they didn't know me that well, and so I, as second grade went on, um, I would do things that probably weren't very socially acceptable. Like at recess, I would start getting mad if someone didn't play jump rope with me. I would throw the jump rope or I would throw the hula hoop, whoever I wanted the hula hoop. I didn't know how to be respectful and share, and I had a lot of issues at recess. And kids didn't want to play with me. And so I just didn't know that, okay, you have to be respectful. If you want friends, you have to be respectful and, And so all I wanted to do was play jump rope and I wanted my way. And I just remember one time I did not like wait my turn. And I was waiting to, I loved jump rope. I was like almost obsessed with it. And I would play jump rope with the kids and I'd be waiting in line for my turn to jump in the jump rope. And I was waiting, and this one girl, she was ahead of me, and she kept doing it, jumping her. I don't know what the reason was, but I had a major meltdown. I remember slapping the wall really hard, screaming, because I wanted to get in the jump rope, to jump. I loved jump rope so much that I would have meltdowns. Um, they didn't play with me, or I would say something mean, or they would like didn't want to be around me or play with me. But I always asked a kid to hold on to the end of the jump rope so we could play jump rope. And yeah, I was definitely socially younger than even than the younger kids in my class. Like all the kids were younger than me, and I was like socially behind them. And one teacher, they tested me in different areas because I had some other challenges, like certain learning challenges and reading challenges, and it's sad because huh, we'll go into that with the academic stuff, but I was um like I said, I was socially behind, and um than kids in my class, and um one of the people that tested me, I think they were looking at my social skills or something. They were trying to observe me, and they said that I had trouble making social judgments, and I didn't obtain from my um, immediate or what was it environment, and yeah, and so like that was second grade, and third grade I was the same way. I had this thing about okay, this isn't socially acceptable either. I don't know. The only reason why I did this because I didn't want to get in trouble, because I would get in trouble for doing this when my sister told on me, or somebody told on me. I guess I shouldn't say sister because I know she'll be watching this video. But one of my sisters, okay, they would tell on me for eating off the floor. I had this food obsession, and kids like garbage, and I just didn't think of it socially. Like I didn't think about okay, kids are gonna make fun of you if you do that, or kids are not gonna like you, or you're not gonna have many friends if you do stuff like that. And yeah, I do certain things like that, all throughout my younger years in grammar or elementary school. And third grade, I definitely, I didn't really know how to talk to kids in my class, like the way they communicated. I would just like third grade, fourth grade, I would just in a um outlandish, like, I don't know if outlandish, but an awkward way, try to make friends, and like, I try to explain, like, almost like, you know how like girls will talk in a high pitched voice. I thought that if you talk in a high pitched voice, it's just like really awkward way. I thought that would make friends that way, and but then I would have a low voice if I was overloaded or overwhelmed, or everything was too much for me. And but um in like in the fourth grade, I was especially like that. Um, I just like remember all throughout those years, I would get mad at the kids because they would. I had issues at recess time playing with kids, and a lot of them didn't want to play with me because I just didn't know how to. Like, I just socially didn't know how to reciprocate. And um, but I remember in the fourth grade, I started um having this, like, it was the way I coped with things. I it's kind of embarrassing, but I would like to put it out there because I want parents and to understand their kids, and also to for adults to understand themselves. And oh gosh, okay, I would pass gas at school. I just I don't know what. There's a part of I just was I know I don't know if I really thought about if it was socialism. I didn't think about it, but I was afraid that it was. I don't know. I don't know. I just had my own way of coping with things around the world. So I would just like let it out. Anyway, that was just 1 or 2, 3 years, and oh my, and it's like it's embarrassing to talk about, but I think I did it because um, I would just like I don't know. I just didn't feel like I just did it just to let the way it's hard to it's kind of hard to explain. It's like you're letting all the you're just expressing, but in that way, you're letting like you go through so much in a day that you just don't care what you do socially anymore. You just like blah. It's hard to explain. It's really weird, and you just like all the expectations, like you know, and all the schoolwork and all the people around you. You just like whatever. You just that was my experience, I guess, with school stress, kids, social, everything, schoolwork, and anyway, um, anyway, that was fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade. Okay, I was 11, 12, 13 years old, and I just did a lot of socially inappropriate things, and I just, yeah, I was definitely like an awkward kid. You know, I remember going to school, through those elementary school years in my brother's clothes or secondhand clothes. I didn't wear any clothes that were like cool, or I wanted to wear those kind of clothes when I was like some grade, or I don't know, as a teenager, young teenager. I remember like 12 years old, 12, 13 years old, I wanted to start to wear cool clothes, but I didn't really think about it. And I didn't wear makeup. I didn't, care about my hair. My mom would fix my hair. I was very much a plain Jane. And all these like kids in my class, like they did, where like kids even younger than me. lipstick or chapstick smelled like bubblegum and makeup. And I remember this one girl had makeup. And I was like, I never thought about makeup or perfume in my own. I guess that's normal, but I think like little girls, they start wanting to try makeup and dress up. And I didn't think about that stuff as a kid until I was like 15 maybe. But at 15, a lot of time I was a plain Jane. I was always a plain Jane. But um, but in the elementary school years, it was very challenging. It was very awkward. I would say things that made other kids mad. I didn't realize. And I know I was in this dance class. There was this little girl. She told me her name, and it's like never. And I thought I never heard this name. And I said, "That's a weird name." I was very blunt. And this little girl was like, it upset her. And she goes, "That's mean," or something, you know. And this other girl, I was at school, and this other girl that was like a couple years younger than me, she um had really short hair, kind of a mullet. It wasn't a mullet, but it was short hair. And I told her that she looked like a boy. I was 11 years old. She was like 8, maybe 7, 8. And I didn't realize, oh, she looked like a boy, you know. I didn't think it was her feeling. And she goes and tells the teacher, and I got talked to by the teacher, my old second grade teacher. This is when I was in the fourth grade. And there's other times, I don't remember, but I probably said other things that were not appropriate, and I just would like, this is, I don't know, I was very interesting, awkward kind of kid. And I don't know what other things I've said, or, you know, I didn't have I don't think I had the empathy skills, the reciprocating skills, give and take, as far as like verbal. Especially verbal. I felt funny saying I love you to my parents and my family, and even as like around that time, I wondered why I couldn't do that. I wondered why I couldn't like feel like a normal person. Like I just felt like I would get angry if I saw somebody being cruel to somebody else, but inside. But I didn't cry if like someone passed away, or I just had my own way of explaining, or I don't know. And but now I do more. I'm more empathetic than I used to be. But as a kid, I wasn't really, and I think it's just not just. I definitely think that's part of my autism is the kind of in some ways, the lack of empathy and being able to step in other people's shoes and to know what to say, not to say, kind of thing. And I didn't have those skills like a normal kid. And but I was um, like I would hide my like autism in certain areas, situations, social situations, and not so much others. So I was more comfortable around the person. I was just like letting everything out. And I think some people kind of see that as like, oh, if you control yourself in one situation, you can't control yourself in another situation. Well, I would just hold it together, and I was just like really uncomfortable, like in other areas. And but anyway, that was there's probably other social challenges I had. Um, I remember like this was awkward. Okay, this is probably not appropriate to do. Go up to somebody and kind of just pat their hair. I had this hair obsession, making sure it was like fixed and brushed, and like it was to be exciting. And I would even do it without their permission. I'd mess with their hair, and kids at my mom babysat, I would mess with their hair, and kids at maybe a couple few kids at school have done it. I did it to this girl named Ricky, and I started patting her hair, because hair obsession. just like she didn't want me touching her hair, things like that. And I would just like um, I didn't know how to step in people's shoes as far as like, okay, do they really care about me? Are they really truly my friend? I would take everything face value, and I remember just not being able to express as well, like verbally, and I would just get mad. I don't know if I had the words to say, you know, you know, at my age level, and um, I had friends. Most of my friends were kind of bossy friends, and they would just like be the head, and I was, the tail. Even though like they were mean, but they were just bossy. I think because I'm thinking they saw me as like younger, like even kids that were like younger than me in my grade, because I was the oldest kid in the class because I started kindergarten later. And this one girl, she was kind of bossy, um, but she was a good friend. She just wanted to help me. She was like a mother. There's a couple, 2 or 3 friends I had in elementary school that were like a mother to me. And a lot of kids they seemed to treat me like I was younger than them. And I think it's because my social skills probably were lacking, and they either took advantage of me, teased me, or mother me. And I remember being teased, and because of my gas, and they didn't understand around me. And this is embarrassing to say. And um, but yeah, there's a lot of reasons. I remember just yeah, kids would either pick on me or because I would do things that were awkward, different, you know, and socially maybe a little bit unacceptable. And or sometimes even blunt. But in middle school, I started to become very shy, and um, it was. I remember 7th, 8th, going through high school, I was super shy, and I think it was because of all the experiences I've had. Um, as a younger kid, because of my issues, because of feeling ashamed and feeling also like I felt like kids would never like me, and even in younger school years, like third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, I just felt like no one liked me. The kids would make fun of me, and I would just like remember sitting on the school bus. I remember like sitting by myself, looking out the window, and I remember those days. And oh gosh, I should tell you about a time when I was 9 years old, and these 2 boys were pushing me back and forth. And this one boy pushed me to the ground where there was glass on the ground, and it caught my knee. Just about cut it open. I don't think it cut it open, but it was bleeding pretty bad. And my parents were so mad. And they took me to school to meet one of the possible kids because I couldn't remember. I remember it was a blonde headed kid, but this other kid was brown headed. And I didn't know, how to explain, okay, this kid had blonde hair. I just remember blonde hair. Same story. and but I My parents were mad, and I just didn't know how to work with them. I think I did a little bit, and but you know, but it's just one of those things like I felt abnormal, but I had to be normal, you know. I felt socially abnormal, if you will, you know. And so I was felt very awkward, and um, so I worked at the elementary school in the special ed classroom for a year. And then I worked in the library. They thought that I should go in the library, probably because it was quieter. I think it was like overloaded or overstimulated in the classroom or something, because sometimes the kids were noisy or whatever. It was too much. It was too much stimulation and too many people, I guess. So I worked in the library. It was a little better, and I was still very stiff and sweaty palms over social anxiety, even in the library, because I dealt with staff there, librarians. I dealt with the librarian. You know, I had to interact with her, and she would show me how to, you know, file books and stamp the books for the kids. Read stories. I was just like, you know, even though I acted like I was having fun, and it was like I remember those days. It was like wow. And throughout my rest of I I quit that volunteer job, and I didn't do a lot. I just kind of hung out at home, my parents' house. I lived there, and then I had a babysitting job. That was really hard because being around a bunch of kids did too much for me. It still would, but I just remember like I watched these two kids that my parents, that my parents' friends had. They were down the street, like maybe a couple miles down the street, and I just, now to think about it, it was hard for me, and I would get frustrated with them. I didn't abuse them, but I'm just uh, like inside I would get frustrated, and anxious, and just looked like it was. Yeah, I tried so hard, and the kids' parents, it was really hard for me to interact with them. And I'm sorry, my video. I got plugged in my phone. I don't. Anyway, yeah, that was really hard, and um, but I watched her kids for a year, and then I decided to move to Kansas with my sister and her husband, and I got a lot better. Like, because I went to this church, and they helped me get out of my shell. I was in a big shell, and they helped me get out of my shell because they kind of believe that you have to be out of yourself, kind of thing. And sometimes that church was probably like, if you weren't out of your shell, then there's something wrong with you spiritually. And I don't believe in that. Actually, personally, I don't believe in that, because it's just sometimes you just need a break, from people. But I got out of my shell. I started doing things with friends, and I did, just did a lot of stuff. But it was a lot of friends that were kind of the awkward ones of the church, and I always was friends with the awkward ones, the ones that had challenges, or the ones that had social challenges, or whatever. And it was, I did have a hard time, clicking with the ones that didn't seem like they had challenges. They probably had their own challenges, but they functioned like normally. And but I definitely was still awkward. I was awkward in a social way, and I still said and did stupid things. Stuck my foot in my mouth, or one girl or one woman in that church said I was very withdrawn. I would, and so yeah, I think I was withdrawn in certain ways, but friendly in a certain group of people. Um, I did have a hard time, because when I moved out of my parents' house, I just kind of was coming into my own, as far as getting to know myself. It took me a long time. It's still taking me a long time to get to know myself and form my identity. And I was still literally did not know my identity, but I was like, I just remember like the biggest social uh, flaw or whatever challenge I had was not, talking about things. I mean, that church wanted you to be open about everything as far as what, your sins, that, it's a Christian church, it was about your sins and stuff. And I started, like, I had to do that. We all had to confess our sins, you know. I'm still Christian, but, you know, back then, that particular church was a good church, but there's some things now I don't believe, that should happen. But there's things I do believe that, that's a whole different video. But that church particularly, they wanted you to confess your sins, every nook and cranny in some ways. And so I think what happened was like I was confessing and I was scared to confess, but they also wanted you to confess how you're feeling, and and I think I took it literally. Like I started having really bad issues talking about my problems to everybody, down the street. And I just didn't realize, okay, you don't do that with everybody. And I would start, like, I think I would obsess about what's going on in my mind. I would just couldn't stop talking about it. And I just, yeah, it took me years to stop that. I'm just learning to stop that. But I do need a few friends that will be there and loyal to listen, and that we all do. And I think I agree with that. It's just like I was inappropriate with it, and eventually years later it pushed people away. And I think I just didn't have the empathy skills of how that person would feel and the reciprocity and all that, because I was absorbed in my own little thing that that I didn't know how to. I don't know. I just didn't. A lot of times I didn't think about how the other person may feel if I'm overwhelming them or whatever. And yeah, but I think there's some of the social challenges I had. Some of that was. I mean, we all kind of go through times where we have social barriers or whatever. But it was just mine was more extreme because I didn't reciprocate as well as a lot of people that don't have autism. And so now, I'm learning a lot about myself and my, it hasn't been very easy the last few years. But also, I just, the empathy part, it was still lacking, but I was able to give out more in certain ways. I've had people over like a few times, and because this church, it believed in like being together, unified, and having people over, and it's like I thought it was fun. But you know what? Like I I thought it was what helped me socialize, I think, was the food. And because it was hard for me to socialize when there was no food around. I would just kind of be more in my own. I wasn't shy, but I'd just be in my own more in my own world. I would say hi to people and stuff, and like and um, but I think they say that food brings people around. It was just that mine was more extreme. I kind of think, in my experience, I could be wrong, but I think autism is something that we uh like the traits of it is more like we're so human that we're extremely human. Like we stand out. and we seem more awkward to people, and we will go over, or like I don't like to say over, we will go at a higher intensity on certain things when it comes to socializing. like some people with autism are extra social. Like they just like talk about their interest a lot, or would tend to do that. I'll talk about certain things a lot. My mind will be stuck on it. When someone changes the subject, oh, I hate that. I just hate that. But anyway, I'm trying to take this little. Okay, got a message. But it's just like that was my social experiences, and the last few years I've been going through a lot of soul searching, and through this depression I've been going through. I just did a lot of soul searching, and it's like things came up from my past, and it's just like I just struggled more than I thought I did, and I thought I was like normal because I wasn't diagnosed in my 20s, like the late 20s of autism, and I was diagnosed from two different doctors, and I even questioned having autism at first because I thought, oh, I seem socially fine because I talk to people. Well, I talk to people. I was able to socialize more when there's something around me that made me feel good. It made me feel in control. And that could be why I like to eat too much. Because when there's food around, I will socialize more. And so I'm trying to back away from that. Eat healthier, and yes, have fun eating with people, going to lunch, but getting something healthy. But also when I'm socializing with people, I give myself a little break when I need to, and I socialize when I'm in the mood to. But I'm not a chit chatter. I don't like social. I'm just not into social chit chat. There's certain things I like to talk about though, and my interests, is autism, mental disorders and illnesses, philosophy subjects, you know, um, deep conversational stuff. But when it comes to like the weather, the kids going to school today, like if I'm talking to a mother and like they're talking about, oh, my dad this, I'm taking my dad to the airport, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm lost because it's like, okay, it's just not my thing, and I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. I'm by myself in my own apartment, and I don't want to get married. I think it'd be too much socially for me, and I've tried working. Yeah, I've worked at McDonald's, and I worked at, these are my adult years. Okay, I'm sorry maybe I didn't bring that up in the beginning, but the adult years were challenging, very challenging. I have done customer service. It was too much. I remember I said things that weren't cool at work, and eventually got me fired. And I just the boss said I was a constant problem. He told me, why don't you fit in, and yeah, some of the bosses were no, they didn't understand me, and so they just like either wanted to like fire me. This one guy fired me, and when I worked at McDonald's, and I was so I this manager, like before that, I worked at 3 different McDonald's. The first one I worked at was this lady named Rose. She kept getting me to smile at the customers, and I just like it was so hard. It was just like, oh man, I was not good at faking it whatsoever, and I moved to another McDonald's. I had issues. Like I would just get like really like I think that job wasn't for me. It was like too much. You had to be out of yourself. You had to, the social expectation, the coworkers. It was too much. And I think my favorite thing was wiping the tables in the lobby. Even though it was kind of, got burned out from it, but it wasn't as bad as like interacting with people, the customers, and sometimes customers are rude, and I remember this coworker, younger kid. He was a little younger than me. He was mean. It was like I don't remember what he'd tell me. He would call me like, oh no, there's a few people that weren't very nice to me because of my
um, issues, like I was very awkward still, but I definitely, you know, like I said, was more social with people, but not in the way I needed to be as far as like tact, you know, and yeah, it was working at McDonald's was pretty hard. I got really burnt out from everybody around me, and job, and you had to just like be fast paced. I did pretty well with that, but I got used to it. But it's the people, and then I worked at let's see, I didn't get my disability income back then. I was trying to survive on my own. But then I moved in. I lost my job, my last McDonald's job from it was. And then I moved to Wichita to move in with my sister because I had pretty much no money. And I stayed there for a few months, and then I got my own apartment. And I had a couple friends in my church, the same church that they believe that you had to be out of yourself and be social, and because you're being selfish if you're being withdrawn or antisocial. And so I had a couple friends, and it was fun. And I definitely had my flaws, like it just kind of like I was absorbed in myself. It probably made me look like I was selfish. I just didn't know how to know the reciprocity skills. I guess I just didn't think of it as I do now, and it's just like I didn't as much, and I was still like younger socially and emotionally too, and but there's people that accepted me, but sometimes I wonder if they were sugarcoat it just to protect me, and because we're not friends anymore. I don't know. It's just like when you move away, you just don't have those friends anymore, like I used to. But now, okay, when I moved to Oregon, I didn't have that many friends. I did. I stopped going to that church because they changed their doctrine or mission or whatever. Because it's just how churches do. Sometimes they change their viewpoint on things and stuff, and um, but I just was ready to move my family again. I was kind of missing living with my family, and I still had I had a hard time, and I um I don't remember being around a lot of people when I lived in Oregon, because that's where I'm from. I moved back to Oregon from Kansas, and um I still had issues. I don't know if this is more emotional, social. I would didn't know myself well enough to where okay, that's not good to do that. Okay, I would put on this like I think I was trying to fit in. I was a chameleon. I would be around. I would try to get services for my diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and I would try to act more lower functioning, and that's not cool either. But I think I was wanting people to get me, and it was an outlandish way to do it, and um I just didn't realize, okay, that's really okay. I just didn't know how to be real with myself. I guess I didn't I guess I just was that's where I was at. And so I had a few. I mean, I would be in Special Olympics, and I was in a job supported employment place. Um, I was good at first, and then I got burned out because I'd be cleaning. I was on a cleaning crew where we cleaned buildings in town and stuff, and I would just start like, yeah, it was. I would just act higher, lower functioning, and have more meltdowns. And meltdowns are another story, but it's just like realizing things socially, that if you act a certain way, you're not going to receive friends, or if you be and thoughtful, and like, okay, if you are thinking about the other person, you're gonna have more chance of receiving that friend and keeping that friend. And I didn't, yeah, it took me years to realize a lot of stuff. But that was my adult years, and I'm sorry this video was long. Oh my gosh, it's almost an hour. Ugh. I'm hoping I'm able to put it on YouTube. But please subscribe to my channel if this video is not too long. But this is pretty much it. This is, my whole childhood to adulthood and my social challenges. And hope you have a great night. And I will put in the next video on behavior, my autism and behavior issues. And I don't know when yet, maybe next week or the week after, or maybe this week. Anyway, subscribe to my channel if you'd like, and like it, or if you want to not like it, I'm not going to be offended. All I'm doing is putting it out there. You guys have a great night.